When I was researching online to find parts, it appeared that they were only available from about 2 sources, one of them being the King Kutter brand website, the other being brokentractor.com. I did not find very many of the available parts on brokentractor.com, and when I looked at the King Kutter website, I could only find one schematic of this machine, and it did not include all the parts. However, I went to DuckDuckGo and looked for a manual for this machine and found that the owner's manual that comes with it has schematics for pretty much all of the parts that are on the machine, except a few, including the bolts that I've removed down here. I emailed the company and they said that those should be available from any hardware store. Well, I didn't find them at my local Home Depot or Menards, and so I found them online at Amazon. And I need to replace them because the previous owner decided to cut them up. So what I'm going to replace are those bolts, the gasket here, this gasket on this side over here because I'm going to have to remove that shaft, and then the gasket on the oil pan on the other side, as well as the shaft. The shaft that's in here has a length that I need to get measure by taking it all apart and then measuring it. So that's what I'm working on doing. At first I tried to work out this thing by pulling it up, and that didn't work, so I'm having to take off this right angle bracket. And unfortunately underneath there are hex heads, and some of them seemed rounded off. I couldn't really get to them. I couldn't see them because of where it's sitting, and so I was able to use a T50 Torx bit to get to it, and it bites in really well no matter whether that hex head is rounded off or not. So I have one left to do, and it's pretty tough, but that's what I'm working on. I have been unable to turn the nut on top without spinning the head underneath. So what I'm doing now is got my metal drill billet out, and I'm just drilling down through that bolt in the hopes that I get down it low enough to just break that nut right off. That's the plan. I finally got that stubborn bolt out. What I did was drill with my metal drill bit into the bolt. Then I used a multi-tool to cut across and cut the nut. And then I was using a pry bar as a wedge underneath to try to push up to create resistance so that the head would not turn while I turned the nut. And finally, a combination of those efforts resulted in final victory. So now it's time to pull the shaft out and measure it. I removed the bearing using these pullers. It came off super easily after I got the snap ring done with these two pieces. Basically, I spread the thing and then used the blade to kind of help wedge it up, and then use some pliers to help pull that ring off. There is a washer after that snap ring, and then the gear, and then come this bearing. There's also, you can see a little washer on there too, so I got to keep that all in line. One thing you can see here is a little rim. I did not know that existed because on the other end it snapped off right there. So that's nice to know that when I go put the bearing right in, it's going to sit right there in that rim. I think we're about ready for reassembly, so I just got to order the parts and then install. Here they are. Ordered the parts, got them in within 3 or 4 days. The shipping and handling was really expensive, so be warned about that before you try to tackle this. Anyway, this is an unboxing video at this point. It's got the parts labeled right on there, part numbers. These two are the ends. This one's probably the one on the opposite side, and then this one is the that's the kickstand. It's nice. And the replacement shaft. Uh-oh. Set that down and see if this other one's as long. that's good. That's good right there. Cool. All right, the next step is to put the bearing on the shaft. I think I'm going to do that by heating up the bearing in a toaster oven and see how that goes. I just want to see what happens if I try to put the bearing right on there as is. Okay, well that's good. It doesn't go all the way down, which means that I need to either cool the rod, heat up the bearing, or both. I'm going to try heating up the bearing and see if that will do it. Here's our old decommissioned toaster oven. I had it on about 275. Looks like this thing is reading as 130. Alright, let's see if it works. Well, it seems lower on there, but not enough. Wow, like a charm. Nice. Alright. Then comes this washer. And then we got to put the gear on. Uh-oh. Okay, now I don't know if this is automatically lubed by the machine, but I know that this shaft was very oiled when I pulled it out, so I'm just going to go ahead and put some of this old transfer case lube on this rod before I insert it. That's good. Now I'm going to put it right in here. Oh, so nice. Oh, yeah. Oops. Well, now I have a problem. I have connected the bearings and the gear over here with the, you can see a little dirt on there, but with the C-clip on there, and it seems to be secured correctly. And then when I go to put on the gear on this side, I can't even see the ridge where the C-clip goes. So I need to figure out, I've tried hammering down, I've tried clamping up, trying to pull this up, maybe see if this can drive down a little farther, and it's not working. So right now I'm trying to freeze the spacer and the gear just to see if it will drop the clearance just a little. That's a really strange problem, and it is, the gear is all the way up so you cannot even see this ridge, and so there's no chance of getting that C-clip in there. I'm at a puzzle and trying to figure it out. If the freezing doesn't work, I may grind down the spacer a little bit. Let's see if I can do that with my grinder, and then hope that the gear will drop a little bit. That's the plan anyway. Well, icing it did not work. So I took it to the bench grinder and ground it down enough to put the ring on. I need to take off some burrs, but it looks like I've gotten it down to the level where it should be. Is that what's required here? I don't know. I doubt it, but this will work. I'm going to put this ground side against this little washer that goes up against the gear here, and it shouldn't have a problem after that. Why did this happen? Maybe they changed when the shaft is designed shorter a little bit, or maybe I actually installed on the wrong end. I don't know which. I'm going to call up there or email their customer service and try to figure it out. Maybe they changed the thickness of this spacer. I don't know, but I haven't seen a place in there where anything is shimmed, so I don't think that's, I mean, maybe it's within tolerances, but yeah. So when I put this on there, it's fitting right on there. So now I'm going to take the burrs off that and then put the ring on there. These bolts, and the bolts on the hub are all 5/8, so that makes it nice. I think that's on there. I can't test whether it works because it's sitting on the tines, I think. But I'll do that before we finish. All right, the next step is to attach the L bracket back in here. That'll be fun, and then to deal with the cap on that, and then fill it with oil. As I may have explained earlier, I needed to replace these bolts. They're hex-headed on one side, they're flanged like whatever this is, and nuts. And I went to the schematics, and they don't have these bolts in it, and I went to the customer service at King Kutter, and they said to get M10 by 1.5 by 25 millimeters, which is this. But this is nothing like this one. Look how much different that is. You can see that the thickness of the bolt is smaller. So I'm going to install these, but I don't think they're strong enough at least not to replace these. So they might be a little loose in there. But this hex head has a 6mm Allen wrench head, and so I'm going to bolt those down.